Hey, what is up, mortals? It's NierVen here, and welcome to Part 2 of What If Naruto characters had mobile suits. Just wanted to greet you guys by saying sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. And so, we begin. Through the forest terrain, Team 7 traveled to the Land of Waves, escorting Tazuna, as was his request, to the village hidden in the leaves. Kashi led the expedition in his Inazuma Mark II, followed by his students in their distinct mobile suits. Sakura was assigned to Shin 2 from the Academy graduation ceremony, but was stylized in her signature pink colors, while Sasuke utilized a specialized suit that had been developed and passed down through his bloodline, the GN, in jet black. Naruto, on the other hand, seemed to follow awkwardly as he piloted his recently awakened Kurama Gundam. "Come on, you stupid bucket of bolts! Walk straight!" Naruto shouted as he continued his battle with the Kurama Gundam's controls, in a vain attempt to have the mobile suit move correctly, the chakra cord stemming from the seal on his stomach emitting a light orange glow, while the console seemed to flicker repeatedly. Within the core of the suit, Kurama lies behind a massive cage held by bars made of pure plasma, the beast's only company being the pitch-black darkness that swallowed the rest of the room whole. "Will this child cease his pointless prattle?" Kurama growled, his voice echoing across the void. The tailed beast sighed, placing its jaw against its paw, and closing its eyes, with a scowl on its face. But just as Kurama was drifting off to sleep, another voice joined the cage, and across from the plasma prison, another cage seemed to come into this reality. In contrast, it had large stone bars and a paper seal in the center, while a dark furred demon fox laid within. My, hello, brother," said the opposing fox, its sharp, vicious fangs bared, as he saw its other half being lit by the plasma cage. The two foxes spoke, while one was adamant to not allow the boy to fully utilize the mobile suit, the other argued against it for their own survival. After much conversation, they agreed that at least to satisfy their desire for revenge, they would at least bother the boy to no end, reveling in his frustration. "Shut up and move, loser!" Sasuke barked through his suit's intercom, while his suit continued marching forward without issue. Sakura followed suit, looking through her monitor back at the strange mobile suit being piloted by the Uzumaki boy. "What a strange suit! Fits him just right," she said to herself with a mocking tone, giggling while she switched her view to Sasuke and continued on her way. Passing by the Kurama Gundam was Tazuna, in a civilian worker mobile suit. While lacking weapons, it had treads to pass through the terrain easily. "Hey, I thought you idiots needed to pass an exam to be allowed in those things!" shouted the angered Tazuna as he was nearly stepped on by the unbalanced Gundam. The civilian suit raced past, getting closer to the center of the diamond-shaped formation that they traveled in. After a full day of traveling, thanks to their towering machines, they managed to make it halfway towards their destination. The suits kneeled down in a circular formation, their backs to each other. Sakura and Sasuke left their respective cockpits and began preparing a small camp for Kakashi, as the bridge builder seemed to sit quietly on top of the giant treads of his suit, gulping down his sake. "Hey, Kakashi-sensei, where's Naruto?" asked Sakura while searching through, not seeing a hint of the orange-clad oddball. "It seems he's still in his mobile suit," responded Kakashi, looking up at the Gundam, hoping Naruto wasn't doing something that could endanger them all. "Well, at least we're all here together. Right, Sasuke?" asked the blushing Kunoichi, as she turned to smile to where the Uchiha boy had been standing, only to see that he had also gone. Above you could see Sasuke hopping into his cockpit once more, and he seemed to have brought tools with him. "These boys and their toys," sighed Sakura, as she piled on sticks and made a campfire in the center, completing the makeshift camp. Beneath the console lay Naruto, his face covered in dirt and dust from the roof of the cockpit, which spoke to the suit's decades of isolation, without as much as routine maintenance check. There he seemed to be studying his mobile suit, so that he could better understand the reason for its malfunctions during their travels. After an ample rest, Kakashi organized a team to practice their chakra control, with water walking and defying gravity with tree climbing. After many failures, the team had all grasped the idea of the exercise, though Naruto did have the most trouble. Due to the amount of chakra it would exhaust, Kakashi chose against training with the mobile suits in order to avoid overexertion, and drawing unnecessary attention. At daybreak, the group continued towards their destination. An hour into their travels, Kakashi's suit, which had been taking point, was suddenly under attack. A large energy whip seemed to bind the leading suit, seeming to slice through the metal, causing it to explode. In response, Naruto's eyes widened, and even though he did everything he could to rush to his uncle's side, his body and suit remained as still as statues, the only movement being a result of Naruto's hand impotently shaking. In that moment, Naruto knew two things. Kakashi was dead. He had done nothing to prevent his uncle's demise. Sasuke, in contrast, rushed into action, his mobile suit drawing its blade from its side. One swift motion, he launched it into the trees in the distance. A massive kunai had embedded itself midair. "Damn it! He got me!" echoed from a loudspeaker, as an enemy mobile suit threw away the embedded kunai from a camouflage coat that was now rendered inoperable. Jien's thrusters erupted to life, launching himself towards his two opponents. But from behind, Sakura shakingly launched shuriken from her suit's gauntlets. With surprising speed, the Jien had been able to reach close combat range with the opposing mobile suit. "Brother!" shouted the man through the comms as his suit reacted to the charge by drawing what seemed to be a plasma scimitar from its hilt. Lifting its gray arm, the suit attempted to decapitate the opposing Leaf mobile suit, but just before reaching its target, the Jien ducked, completely avoiding the attack. Beneath the wrist of the GN unit, a kunai was ejected and slipped between its fingers. With one swift motion, stabbed through the gap in the gray suit's armor, that completely severed the arm, causing it to crash to the forest floor. Before Sasuke could react, the second suit appeared at his mech's side, with its heat rod already whipping towards him, which would devastate the GN if it made contact. Naruto watched his comrade about to die, and just as he gathered enough strength to intervene, large text flashed across his view screen. Mindscape! The glow from the chakra cord became brighter until it flashed, leaving Naruto's body in an unconscious state. Naruto found himself in an empty black room. Tried to determine where he was, he yelled into the void. "Hey! Where am I? Is there anyone here?" His voice seemed to echo forever, which only served to confuse him further. "Welcome, child," growled a distant yet powerful voice from the shadows, as the glowing plasma bars of Kurama revealed themselves, which brought the nine-tailed fox appearance to light. The demon fox! Naruto yelped, falling back, his blue eyes locked onto the beast. "Yes, welcome," spoke that identical voice from behind. I turned his head around slowly. A twin of the tailed beast came into view. Though its fur was far darker, its prison seemed to be made of organic material. The two foxes' cages may have been completely different, but there was no doubt. Naruto was standing in the presence of Kurama, the nine-tailed fox. Naruto's mind flashed back to a conversation he had with his mother, soon after awakening his Gundam from the mountainside. "Naruto, I need to explain the nature of your mobile suit." Naruto tilted his head and sat on his couch, carefully listening to his mother. "Your father sacrificed himself. He sealed the demon fox within you." He told him, even though this was common knowledge to him for now, there seemed to be more. "But his chakra was far too much for your infant body. So in turn, he sealed the other half of the beast within this Gundam." "So it's your fault my teammates are getting killed!" he shouted angrily, his fist balled up tightly until he turned white. "Listen here, you stupid foxes!" Naruto barked while getting to his feet, barely steadying himself, his eyes humid from the stress. "I didn't put you in these cages, but this is my body!" spat the boy as he grit his teeth, remembering his Jonin teacher's suit getting demolished. "It's time to pay rent!" Naruto's voice echoed throughout the void. After a moment of silence, the boxes began to howl and cackle like wild hyenas, amused by the young man's attempt at intimidation. Once their laughter concluded, the two fox brothers locked eyes, as is coming to an understanding. In unison, the two foxes spoke, looking back at Naruto, who then was little more than an insect. "Very well, but be aware, your life belongs to us," they growled with venom in their voices, as the room grew dark, eventually leaving the two sets of bright foxes' eyes staring into the young shinobi's soul, for the darkness swallowed them whole. "Sasuke!" Naruto screamed, as the right claw of his mobile suit lunged forward, its thrusters erupting from behind the bladed gauntlet, before piercing the enemy mech's arm before the heat rod can make contact with the GN. Yanking the paw back, the arm and rod were deviated and sent into a backward spin, causing the mono-eyed suit to lose its balance. Kurama Gundam's powerful thrusters then blasted, charring the trees behind them as it made contact with its target. Upon contact, the Gundam's claws gauntlets seemed to extend and begin a glowing bright red, and with a vicious swipe, the opposing suit's intact arm was sliced to ribbons. All the while, Sasuke destroyed the other opposing mobile suit's head, causing it to deactivate and fall to its knees. Before Sasuke and Naruto were able to commit to finishing blows on the cockpits, the Inazuma Mark II had made an unexpected return and appeared between the four suits, acting as a divider between the students and their assailants. "Enough. We need them alive for questioning." The team successfully disabled the opponent's mobile suits and had interrogated the duo, resulting in the truth of their mission being revealed. Due to the urgency of the matter and the risk involved for the people of the Land of Waves, Kakashi had decided to continue their expedition and delivered Tazuna to his destination. The rest of their trek was uneventful at best, light training and continued travel to make the most out of their situation. The group made their way onto what seemed to be a large clearing in the dense forest. But in a moment's notice, the alarms of each of their mobile suits went on high alert. "Everyone, be on the lookout! We are not alone," said Kakashi through comms, transmitting his message to the entirety of the team. Great fog began to flow through the forest, inhibiting the team's field of vision. Following the fog, heavy steps could be heard, which caused the three Genin and their sensei to prepare for an assault. The silhouette of a rather strange mobile suit could be seen in the distance, but the most impressive feature was seemingly an absurdly large sword. "My prey has presented itself," said a demonic male voice through the comm system, as a dangerous-looking mobile suit came into view. "Be on your guard. This man is trouble," warned Kakashi as his targeting program began to lock onto the enemy mobile suit. The enemy then began to reveal his monstrous blade, almost as if it was light as a feather. With a swing of the weapon, the suit seemed to let go and launch the blade with a powerful spin. Halfway through the field, it seemed to have gained speed, which occurred due to small thrusters on the handle of the weapon, which caused it to fly almost like a circular saw. Sasuke reacted quickly by using a small flail that hung from behind his suit. The spike ball dropped from its compartment behind the suit, with a swift motion forced the ball against the blade, causing the two metal objects to deflect, knocking the blade off course. Massive broadsword wrecked through the trees and ground around the squad, before stabbing into the ground and displacing the earth around it. "I'll handle him. You take care of Tazuna." Naruto and Sasuke were about to interject, but at that point, the Inazuma Mark II had shifted its head towards the two, its eyes glowing brightly. "That is an order," Kakashi said in a serious tone, before turning his gaze once more onto the enemy. But, Uncle Kakashi!" Naruto mumbled before getting into position to guard the bridge builder, Sasuke following soon after. "Don't worry, guys! Kakashi-sensei can take care of this creep!" Sakura said, but it did little to ease her teammates' anxiety. Kakashi has rushed towards the enemy, while the opponent followed in tow. The two custom mobile suits clashed in the middle, causing shockwaves to erupt from the impact of their blades clanging together. The enemy mobile suit suddenly leaped forward, with assistance from its thrusters, and jammed its knee into the center of the Inazuma, disrupting its equilibrium. The Inazuma dashed back, Kakashi having been knocked around violently from the impact, causing some damage on his mobile suit. But the distance between the two foes, the enemy suit began rapidly performing hand signs. In response, Kakashi lifted his forehead protector, and the word Sharingan flashed on his console. The symbol of a three Tomoe Sharingan appeared on the eyes of his suit. The Inazuma then began to mirror the enemy's movements, and simultaneously they spoke. "Water style! Water Dragon Bullet!" From the water and their surroundings, two incredible water dragons spun around their respective mobile suits, and after spinning around them, they launched at their target. Two dragons crashed into each other, blasting water around the area. In that moment, Inazuma's vision was blurred. From this, and the enemy took advantage. "Finally, a worthy opponent!" The blue suit seemed to move fairly quickly. With a giant right hook, it had its blade in hand. It brought the Inazuma down to one knee. "Kakashi of the Sharingan," spoke the male in a loud voice, which caught the attention of Sasuke in the background. Sharingan? Thought Sasuke out loud. The Sharingan was a unique trait that belonged only to the Uchiha. How could this man possess it? He would have to question his leader later on, when the battle had concluded, but it irked him to no end. Kakashi grunted in frustration and performed a quick hand sign, before his suit seemed to vanish into nothingness, only to appear above the enemy suit, with its fingers interlaced, and slammed its joint hands onto the head of the would-be assassin. The opposing suit seemed to have been shot down to the ground, its head digging onto the soil, creating a small crater. While jumping back from the attack, Kakashi noticed the origin of the suit, the symbol of the village hidden in the mist. "This man, he's Zabuza of the Bloody Mist!" As he uttered the name of the shinobi, three Genin were paralyzed in sudden fear. Bloody Mist was a terrifying land of bloodthirsty shinobi, and their most powerful shinobi were those of the 7 swordsmen of the Bloody Mist. This man Zabuza was amongst their ranks, and currently Team 7 between him and his target. Slowly getting back to his feet, Zabuza's mobile suit lifted its right arm and held it outstretched. In turn, previously used blades thrusters erupted, and lifted it from the ground. It was then blasted forward, attempting to slice Kakashi's mobile suit en route to its owner's palm. Kakashi barely dodged the oncoming blade, but was taken by surprise by Zabuza as his suit's hand had touched and grabbed hold of Inazuma's chest piece. "Water style! Water prison!" he announced as the Inazuma's eyes suddenly went dark. Kakashi's cockpit began to flood with water. Jonin was trapped in a prison of water and his lungs were being challenged. It was an incredible predicament. "Kakashi-sensei!" yelled out Sakura through the loudspeaker as she lifted her gauntlet to start shooting out her anti-mobile suit shuriken. Sasuke jumped into action as his jet-black GN rushed forward. During the movement, both he and his mobile suit began to weave hand signs, and halfway he shouted, "Fire style! Great fireball jutsu!" His GN suddenly blasted forward, a massive fireball towards the direction of the hidden mist ninja, but it was quickly engulfed by a stream of water. The water vapor now blinded the Leaf Shinobi, as his visor was completely covered in condensation. Sasuke then used his system's innate heating system to clear his suit's camera, but just as his vision became clear, a thundering fist crashed onto the GN's head, sending Sasuke's suit tumbling backwards. Now instead of one mobile suit, there stood two, though water did drip from the new one, revealing its identity as a water clone. Naruto closed his eyes tightly before forcing his suit into action. As the Gundam began marching forward, Naruto began to shake from a mixture of fear and excitement as he approached the clone hidden mist mobile suit. The Kurama Gundam launched its clawed armlet towards the opponent, but the clone quickly deflected the strike. Unlike before, this attack had failed. The gauntlet was quickly retracted as it reattached. He readied himself for a counterattack. The water clone then quickly drew its massive blade, attempting to slice through the center of the Gundam. Though before it could strike, Zabuza's mobile suit was hit by anti-mobile suit shuriken. Due to the damage, the suit quickly returned to its state of water, causing it to dampen the surrounding ground. Looking over his shoulder, Naruto saw that it was Sakura, who reacted quickly, even as she was consumed by fear. "Nice one, Sakura!" Naruto yelled through their comms, giving a large thumbs up with his mobile suit. "Just help Kakashi-sensei!" she shouted in a shaken breath as she steadied herself to continue guarding Tazuna. Oh yeah! I'm coming, Uncle Kakashi!" Naruto's thrusters then glowed brightly as he shot towards the main mobile suit that was still trapping the Jonin in its grasp. It had been several minutes and Kakashi was quickly losing oxygen. If they didn't separate the two, he would drown. The Kurama Gundam blasted a barrage of shuriken towards Zabuza's machine. Through a swift motion, he sliced the shuriken away with a swipe of his sword. Thinking himself safe, he began to laugh and let his guard open for an attack. Sasuke launched back into the fray and managed to land a kunai strike on the shoulder of Zabuza's machine. The kunai began to glow red as it was imbued with chakra. Being caught off guard, the suit automatically dropped its blade, and he forced his mobile suit to dash backwards, dropping the Inazuma from its grasp. Falling to one knee, the Inazuma remained unmoving. The two genin called out for their joining teacher. After a few seconds, water began venting out of the cockpit. Kakashi's face could be seen on their screens. I'm alright. Thanks for the save. Coughing up a great deal of water before forcing his suit to his feet. "Now then, let's get down to business," said Kakashi, as steam began exhausting from the suit's many vents, and the Inazuma's eyes glowed once more with power. The Inazuma then quickly vanished and appeared in front of Zabuza's mobile suit. "What the?" growled the man, attempting to instinctively guard with his mobile suit's good arm. The Inazuma Mark II lands a powerful kick to the core of Zabuza's suit, sending it backwards and damaging the cockpit. Then holding down its right arm, the Inazuma Mark II's hands began to charge with electricity, suit's Sharingan eyes glowing intently. "Lightning style," Kakashi said, until he was interrupted by something he saw out of the corner of his eye. A small blur was going past the trees and over onto the mobile suit. "What the hell?" questioned Kakashi, as his targeting system zoomed in and on the target. Someone with long hair had shot a variety of Zenbons, severing the cockpit's hydraulics, forcing it to open. As the doors opened, the long-haired individual launched many of these thin, sharp weapons onto Zabuza. They embedded onto his neck and chest. His eyes became white, and his head hung. After a quick exchange, the person identified themselves as a representative of the Hidden Mist Village. They informed the group that they were sent to retrieve the fugitive known as Zabuza Momochi, who had defected from their village years ago. Upon finishing their interaction, Kakashi allowed the shinobi to take Zabuza's body away, and use his already damaged mobile suit to return to their village. Team 7 regrouped once more. The setting was a good opportunity to rest, as battle had taken a lot out of all of them. Though they did not know what to expect next, they hoped the night could bring them some much-needed peace. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in the story thus far. Hope you enjoyed it. There's a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, we got a primary channel called We the Celestials. We the Celestials is what we do here already, but their content is centered around the crazy world and lore of My Hero Academia. So please make sure to check us out over there if you're feeling in the mood for a roller coaster of quirky content. We also have another relative to our channel, Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes deep to the facts and lore of a wide variety of anime. Be sure to expand your weeb knowledge for all kinds of series guaranteed. I'd like to let you know, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. The details will be in the description below. If you're perhaps interested in what we do here at WTC, then I would like to extend out an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being is we only accept members 16 years or older to join our crew. You can find us on our Discord, which you can locate in the description below. Our Discord is an all-around fantastic place to be, whether you're a fan or looking to join our band of misfits. All you gotta do is hit up the recruitment server and sign up for whatever category of work fulfills your interest. We're always looking for new members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching and have a great day.